Highest to Lowest marks the fifth collaboration between two cinematic icons, Spike Lee and Denzel Washington. I couldn't get to the theater fast enough to see this once I found one in my area that was screening it. And lucky for you, if you missed it, you can stream it on Apple TV Plus on September the 5th. It's based on Akira Kurosawa's 1963 film High to Low, which in of itself was based on the 1959 Ed McBain novel King's Ransom. The movie stars Denzel Washington, Jeffrey Wright, Ilfenesh Hadera, A$AP Rocky, and Aubrey Joseph, and a surprising appearance by Dean Winters, whom you may recognize as the all-state asshole guy. The movie is equal parts of a crime thriller and a study on the consequences of fame, the gap between the wealthy and the working class, and warped celebrity culture. Denzel is in rare form playing David King, also known as King David in them streets. He's a record label mogul. Think about like a Quincy Jones or a Clive Davis or maybe a Lucius Lyon. Can we still refer to that character? He's an OG record guy who grew up as a success in the music industry with the reputation of having the best ears in the business. Now, due to the changing music industry, his label is struggling and he wants to avoid a rival label's buyout. Then his son gets kidnapped for a $17.5 million ransom. I don't want to say too much more because one of the exciting things about going to see this movie is not knowing too much about it and seeing the story unfold on screen. The movie keeps you guessing, and at times, I honestly would find myself frustrated because I thought it was going to go one way. I was certain it was going to go one way, but then it would go another way, but that other way was just as interesting. There's a major twist at the end of the first act, which puts the strain on the relationship between David and his good friend slash driver, Paul, who's played by Jeffrey Wright. I won't say what happens, but I was like, oh, wow. This is a cold-blooded movie right here. And you feel the tension brewing between these two characters because of the dynamic that's set up from the kidnapping. But then the movie goes off in a different direction altogether. Now, personally, I think had the movie stayed on that particular dynamic between David and Paul, it would have been a devastating drama. It would have been one of the greatest criticisms on social strata in a while, and it would have been really interesting to see how they would have played that out. Having said that, the movie takes a turn that's a bit more of a conventional crime thriller in the second act, but it's still suspenseful and interesting. Like I said, it went a different way, but it still had me guessing and I was still interested in it. It kind of reminded me of the movie Inside Man from 2006. And I think that was the last time Spike and Denzel worked together. Now, granted, I haven't seen that movie since it came out in 2006, but I kind of got that feel because, again, it takes on like a conventional standard crime thriller drama. Also, it's a Spike Lee joint, and you can bet Spike gon' spike like he always does. What does that mean? Well, we get the signature floating character move for a brief moment, where the character seems to be standing motionless on a slow-moving dolly that's being pulled, so he or she looks like they're floating down the street. We get references to black culture that are sometimes organically inserted into the dialogue, which is definitely welcome. But then other times it's forced into the dialogue unnaturally. It's kind of eye-rolling. And we get speeches between characters that just go on way too long. There's a great scene between Denzel and A$AP Rocky that involves an impromptu rap battle. And Denzel holds his own. And it was so good, it had the audience testifying it was so good. But it went on too damn long, and it kind of lost its bite as a result. At a certain point, I was ready for the scene to be over and move on to the next conflict. The other issue with this film is that it struggles to find a solid ending. There were probably 2 or 3 spots where this movie could have ended, but it just kept going. The ending we get provides a decent bit of entertainment, but it is underwhelming. With that said, this is overall an entertaining movie, if nothing else than for just the performances. We get kind of that latter-day Denzel, that ha-ha, that kind of guy. We get that performance in the first 2 acts. Well, the first act, then in the second act, the shit starts to go down, and then we get that We get that Denzel with the curve, with the lip, and the I can't do a good Denzel, but you know what I'm talking about. Go check out Jay Farrow.
All right, okay, all right.
We get that Denzel towards the middle of the movie. Also, the cinematography is absolutely amazing. And I can't remember the cinematographer's name. I think it's Matthew Libatique. And I know that name. I know I've seen stuff of his before. I just can't remember any of his previous work. But if you see his stuff, you know you're looking at some great photography. His cinematography is just flat out amazing in capturing the elan of New York City, particularly in the opening credits. I mean, it's just outstanding. Just the lighting, the coloring, the color grade on it. The aerials are just amazing. I'm speechless at how great it was. It's gritty when it needs to be, particularly in scenes that take place in the Bronx, and it's glorious when it needs to be, particularly those opening scenes. And like I keep repeating myself, the opening aerial shots, I'm assuming they were drone shots. These shots are absolutely just breathtaking. I mean, you've got Woody Allen's crisp black and white photography, shots of NYC in the movie Manhattan, the sepia opening shots of the city, particularly Wall Street and Battery City. In the movie Wall Street, still my favorite film of all time. You get that street level grittiness that we saw in New Jack City, and we get beautiful shots in the movie of the Statue of Liberty, the Brooklyn Bridge, like we see in the movie Working Girl with Melanie Griffith. The shots in this movie of New York City, they sit right up there with these classic films that I just mentioned. These aerials alone are the reason you need to see this on the big screen. And you know what? I'm going to move right into my rating because, like I said, I don't want to say too much, but just know that all of the main characters, they deliver fantastic performances. Denzel, what do I have to say? Jeffrey Wright, what do I have to say? Ilfenesh Hadera, who was also in Godfather of Harlem. She does a fantastic job here. And Aubrey, the actor who plays Denzel's son, Trey, fantastic job. I want to say this movie, if you can find it in the big screen before it's too late, go check it out. I'm giving this movie 3.5 reels. It's a great film. I will watch it again on Apple TV Plus. Go check it out. And with that, I'm going to ask you, as I always do, if you liked this review, if you like this video, please subscribe, like, share, pump me up with my clicks, please. That was the Martini, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.